The Georgia Bulldogs are going to Los Angeles for the 2023 National Championship. How's everybody doing today, guys? It is JT Productions, and my goodness, I'm sorry I didn't get this out sooner, but with all the emotions and everything that's gone on with New Year's and stuff, with regards to that game, that is one of the best Georgia games with regards to excitement and how the game ended that I've ever seen. That is on the level of probably the 2018 Rose Bowl against Oklahoma. That was an amazing experience. Now, it wasn't pretty the whole time, I'll tell you that much. The game itself, I was stressed out. I was absolutely just... It was so bad, I was getting a stress headache halfway through the third quarter. So, I was not having a good time, but it paid off. Now, before I get into any of that, let's say how the team did by itself. The offense, for, I'd say, 2 of the 4 quarters, played very well, very exceptional. The second and the fourth quarter, the offense played amazing. The first and especially the third, the offense was pretty much anemic. The run game in the third quarter, after it had absolutely gashed Ohio State in the first quarter, or in the first and second quarter, was non-existent pretty much because of us trying to run it up the middle and not getting lateral with it. I get why we do that, trying to find a hole in that. And there was some misassignments by the offensive linemen when it came to blocking. But in that third quarter, however, we ended up rectifying that, and we did better. Stetson Bennett. By gosh, he started out the game trying to play hero ball. He wanted to play hero ball to, I guess, to try to be the hero of the game. And in the first half, it hurt him. I get what he was going to do with, it was a miscommunication sort of with him and McIntosh on that interception he threw, but he should have saw that McIntosh was going for the wheel route that they had run so many times. Either way, it was rectified. He had, I believe, I'm not looking at it right now, but he had 320-something yards, or 200-something yards passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick in that game. In that fourth quarter, he came up big. Stetson Bennett played his heart out, and it showed. Now, I thought in that last drive, we could have knocked some time off the clock, but it is what it is. Offensive line played great at times, but we missed McClendon a little bit, but the thing is with our offensive line, we have a lot of good players that can step in and do well, and they did. Receivers, great day for the receivers. Glad to see A.J. Mitchell back. Marcus Rosemary-Jackson ain't got a catch. Arian Smith had a day. 3 receptions, 129 yards, and a touchdown. He absolutely torched that Ohio State defender on that long touchdown. He had Ladd McConkey, it looked like he was still a little bit injured. Let's hope that he hasn't been injured anymore, and that if he is ready for the game, that it's not laboring him to play. On the other side, Brock Bowers. Ohio State did good to stop Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers only had, I think, 1 or 2 catches in the game, but Darnell went out in the second quarter with an injury. Kirby Smart and the staff said that he should be good to go for the national championship, and that it was just a contusion to his leg. It was ankle, I think. But it was good to see Oscar Delp come in and get some good blocks. It's good to see how he's doing for the future. Now, for the sort of redhead stepchild, the defense. In the first half, we played our C+ to B- game on defense. Ohio State and C.J. Stroud came out and did something they haven't done all year, and that's run the football with the quarterback and make plays happen by extending the play in the pocket. C.J. Stroud had an amazing game, one of the best games he's ever had, and it all comes down to his connection with the receivers, Julian Fleming, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Mecca Ibuka. Georgia, since Kirby Smart has got there, has struggled against teams with multiple NFL wide receivers. Look at the game we played against Alabama in 2018. 2018 and 2020. Look at the LSU game in 2019. Look at last year's SEC championship game. We've struggled against teams with multiple NFL wide receivers. This was no different. We were playing soft coverage, trying not to get beat deep, and they were just doing they were doing out routes and comeback routes that were killing Kamari Lassiter and Keely Ringo. Now, Ringo cleaned it up in the second half. I'll give him that. He only allowed, I think, 3 catches or 1 catch for Marvin Harrison. And defense cleaned it up a good bit. We got 3 sacks on C.J. Stroud that night. I think it was Small-London, Javon Bullard, and Dumas Johnson. But besides that, he did a great job of being poised and finding a way to extend the pocket. But anyways, defense besides that, we were able to stop the run. And the hit on Marvin Harrison Jr., this has been a wide thing for controversy ever since the game. The hit was shoulder to shoulder. Javon Bullard saw Marvin Harrison Jr. going for the football, so he made a decision, a football move, to hit him so that the ball would come out. It was a clean hit. It was shoulder to shoulder. I saw a view that showed where they could say it was targeting because it was behind Javon Bullard, and you couldn't see the helmets make contact, but it looked like it. But the view right before that showed definitively it was shoulder to shoulder. There was no helmet-to-helmet contact, or no contact with the head or neck area anyways. So, it was a clean hit. And all these people saying that's the reason that Ohio State lost. It was because your defense. Your defense screwed the game for you. I'm not going to get into it right now, but all these Ohio State fans, before the game, were saying, we have multiple NFL wide receivers. We have 3 plus the ones that are on the bench. Well, if that mattered, if Marvin Harrison Jr.'s injury mattered so much, why were you saying that in the beginning? That you had 6 or 7 NFL wide receivers. Well, anyways, don't matter now. The kicking in this game was off. Podlesny, who really doesn't miss much, missed 2 field goals in this game. Now, one thing I gotta say, Jack Podlesny, through his career, has struggled kicking from the hash marks, and both his misses were from the hash marks. And then Noah Ruggles, Ohio State's kicker, misses a 50-yard field goal wide left. That 50-yard field goal was the last play of the game, and it happened in sync with the ball dropping, which is freaking crazy. That's what makes it even crazier. So, anyways, another stat. After the first drive of the fourth quarter for C.J. Stroud, the defense clutched up. I think he was like 5 of 14 after that for 50-something yards. So the defense stepped up in the fourth quarter. Excuse me. And, gosh, don't even get me started with the officiating in this game. Packed any of the refs. One thing I think should have happened is the refs, if they make an egregious call, should be fined for every egregious call they make in a game. That would give them incentive to get the play right. There was a false start Ohio State did in the first half. Was not called. The refs apparently, quote unquote, did not see it. But that false start the running back did, to where he flinched, caused one of our defensive linemen to jump off sides. That, and they called a flag. They called the flag on the defender jumping off sides. That's how egregious the flags were. Then, late in the fourth quarter, also, multiple times Ohio State had 12 men on the field, was not called. Especially on that fake punt, that if Kirby had not called timeout, I don't know if they would have called the flag, but they should have. Anyways, Kirby called also. I'm getting off tangents here. Let me just finish this. Late in the fourth quarter, on the last drive of Ohio State's drive, Ohio State, C.J. Stroud, looking downfield, is pressuring the pocket. He steps up. Jalen Carter is pressuring and has an offensive lineman, one of the Ohio State offensive linemen has his hands all the way around him, not letting him go. C.J. Stroud starts to run downfield. The offensive lineman tackles Jalen Carter. That is an egregious holding call. Now, does it matter now? No. And am I glad the outcome? Yes. Would it have hurt my feelings if they had called both those calls? No. I think they should have. And I'm sure there was missed calls on Georgia as well. I'm not just saying that Ohio State had some calls go their way. Anyways, the fake punt. Kirby Smart, you smart head coach you are. Ohio State is looking to put the game on skates. They're in a weird formation. Kirby recognizes this, goes over, calls timeout right before they snap it, and it was a fake punt. Kirby Smart is why Georgia is going to a back-to-back national championship. Kirby Smart is one of the top head coaches in college football right now, and eventually could turn into one of the best coaches in college football history. If he does not call that timeout, Ohio State gains momentum and most likely beats us by at least 2 touchdowns because of how it was going at the time. But Kirby Smart saves the day. And my goodness, this game was awesome. So, there's one game left, guys. In Los Angeles, in Hollywood, in SoFi Stadium, against a team that if you've been a Georgia fan for a while, you know we've met before. Kirby's first year in the Liberty Bowl. Gary Patterson was their head coach, and we beat them with Nick Chubb, Sonny Michel, Jacob Eason, all of those guys. Trenton Thompson was the MVP of the game. Well, it's time to recreate that magic right over on the West Coast with a new band of guys. You know, it's crazy. Stetson Bennett wasn't even on the football team back then. Ain't that crazy? So, TCU, bring your Horned Frogs, because it's about to be a dogfight, if you get what I'm saying. See y'all at SoFi. Go Dogs.